what would you recommend men who go through grief, through that um, tough,
Yeah.
uncomfortable experience? What helped you, and what would you recommend as a practice for that?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of men go through that. Um, so let's go back to the feminine, right? Grief, emotion is our feminine. Any emotion is our part of our feminine. Our love is our feminine, right? And so what what the masculine, what I believe the masculine is here to do is to hold and amplify the feminine. So what that would mean is if you are a man who's in grief, that you create space to both hold and amplify the expression of that grief. Right? Just like if you with your child, right? If you had a your child was upset about something, you wouldn't be like, shut up, Johnny, right? You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't you shouldn't do that. I don't think you should. But you want to give them space to be fully expressed, right? Like that's the masculine giving space, like, okay, get it out, like,
Mm.
oh, yeah, have a tantrum, like, get it out, get it out, get it out. And and so for yourself, and this is where men run into a lot of problems, is that they don't give themselves permission and create a container, which could just be 10 minutes a day, to really feel and amplify and express what's true. Grief often is a big one. Grief, loneliness, self-loathing, anger, um, all of those things. So what I recommend to men is to create a container. In the morning, you can, after you do your practice, um, create a space, put on some music, and give yourself 10 minutes to grieve. Like, feel it, make sound, move, pound on the floor, pound on your chest. Like, you literally you give your feminine permission to be fully expressed. And in doing that, there is an aliveness and a fullness that actually happens even while we're in very painful emotions. you know After a deep cry, there's like a almost like a sense of, not quite joy, but it's peace, maybe,
Yeah.
like a peace. And so for men who are experiencing grief, what I would say is give yourself space to grieve. When my daughter died, I literally canceled my mornings so I could have 2 hours a morning or so to grieve. And I would just look at pictures of her, and I would watch videos of her. And, you know, she was all over the internet, so that everywhere I turned, there was stuff with Claire. And I gave myself permission to just go in and go in. And I had to do that for about 2 or 3 years of just, I literally took 3 months off of work and went to Hawaii to be with a teacher of mine who took me through a grieving process. I created that container to grieve. So that's where I feel men can be supported in this work right away, is by whatever's true, whatever feeling you haven't felt fully, but it's there. Give yourself space, create a container and a ritual for you to feel it. The masculine is the container. 10 minutes. I'm going to do this. The masculine is the container. The expression is the feminine. And that's a good way to put that idea into practice.